So you're looking at it, we're at the San Diego Comicon. We're totally pimping out the Halo graphic novel. I worked on it a little bit. We helped with some of the writing and stuff, but right behind me are some of the world famous artists that worked on the book, some of the world famous writers that wrote in the book, and we're just having a blast here at Comicon. It's getting crazy. I think it's a really good expansion in the Halo universe. There's already people who started to pick out elements of the story that they're trying to apply to some Halo 3 thinking, and we're having fun watching that speculation. And of course there's some deliberate stuff in there that is for that exact purpose of embroidering out details of the universe that you can't necessarily fit in a video game. So that's really what the project's been all about. It's been a great chance to work with these phenomenal artists and writers, and just really enjoyable all around.
Lewis, and I wrote Second Sunrise over New Mombasa, illustrated by Mobius. It was actually one of the most positive experiences I've ever had in working on comics, which I've done for 10 years as a writer and others as an artist, but it was really smooth, and I was surprised by that, because usually when you work for a non-comics company doing comics, it's a nightmare. And when they first called me, I quoted them my highest rate, and then they told me that Mobius was one of the artists available, and I said, if you give me him, I'll pay you my highest rate. The story is about a guy who works for a PR firm that is controlled by the Office of Naval Intelligence in the world of this takes place around, I would say, the Halo 2 video game, and it's this first invasion of the alien covenant coming to Earth, and that's as much spoiling as I'll give towards the end of the story. But the setup of the story is that it's a PR guy whose job it is to reformat the news of this war that's going on in deep space for people on Earth, and they're taking out the really gory stuff and making things seem heroic, and they never show a soldier with an exit wound, but anyone who's being taken away, he was a hero and he saved his platoon, and he sacrificed to save his men, and it's a lot of flag waving and that kind of thing, all completely farcical. Nothing like that happens in the real world. But then he's confronted with the close-up version of this war coming to Earth, and has to deal with it more direct. It's a wartime, and it's a war that's being fought far away, and is being sort of formatted through PR for the public, and that, without making a statement one way or the other, I mean, is obviously something that happens in our world now. So I think that's the part that I drew from. I found the universe really interesting, and like I said, I started trying to play the game, and I knew that if I did, I wouldn't be getting any work done for a long time, because it was so engaging. But there's so much stuff that they haven't even shown yet to the fans that are going to be in Halo 3 or surrounding it in the novels and things that they have coming up, that it's such a huge, like I said, it's huge, and it's fleshed out, and it's I've worked on other video game projects and a lot of, like I said, licensed projects. I don't think I've ever seen one that was so that brought so much with it, so much rich material. I could do hundreds of stories in that universe. They should make it an ongoing series book. Actually, one of the goals that Bungie had was exactly that, was to enrich their world. And they, like I said, they prepared, and they brought a lot of people and writers and artists in to prepare this universe. And they've been letting it unfold a lot through the games, but like that business model, it applies creatively too. The comic and the books and the video game they're synergistic. They build off each other. I think if you've seen the game, you'll appreciate the book more, and if you get the book, it might lead you to want to try out the game or explore the game, or when you do play the game, give you a richer feeling of that world. I think it stands on its own as a comic. That was important to me too, for people like me that aren't that familiar with all video games. And I think all the other stories in there as well stand on their own. That was important to them and to us. So I guess, yeah, that's about it for that. They go together, peanut butter and jelly.
My name is Jean Giraud. My name is Mobius. I'm a fantasy artist. And I work in that project from the video games Halo. It's some pages with a nice story. That's all. In fact, I never heard about Halo. I know a little bit about video games, especially because my son is a fan, or was a fan at that time. But I don't know why. Maybe because he doesn't have the Xbox. I think it's a game only for Xbox.
Yeah.
So he don't have the Xbox, so he didn't know. No, I didn't try to translate the graphics from the game. Only the book I had was part sketches made by artists in order to do the games, and pictures from the games with the pixels, you know. So I saw exactly what was the intention from the starting, from the beginning, and the result of the screen. So from that, it was like a documentation, and I did my story, trying to find a style good for the action, the mood, you know, the situation. But I didn't try to translate the game. In fact, the war between alien and Earth, it's something in the subconscious. It's something very deep. I think it's fear is part of the evolution, you know, because we don't know what is out of our environment. And in the beginning, it was next country, the other side of the mountain. Now, after it was the other side of the ocean, now it's the other side of space. So it's something we have inside us. But the way the story is told in that story is very interesting because it's through the eyes of professional witness. He's working for media. And suddenly is not only a witness out of the story, he's inside because he is on Earth. And it's his own life, his own territory is in danger. Also, the story show a little bit the people, children and people involved into the problem. It's, you know, it's very fast, it's a few pages, but we have a little perspective of the problems. I think graphic novel give a little distance and it becomes something more serious. And in fact, as a publisher, it's a bigger challenge to do a graphic novel because you need to find a good paper, good presentation, good cover. You know, it becomes something a little bit more serious as a publishing phenomenon.